fucking real, and you will be duped by a bunch of fucking brigaders if you just go on Reddit. They think they're actually correct. They think that they know what the fuck is going on, right? And they're very, very invested in it. I hope every other streamer ignores you till the end of time so that all your stupid liberal ideology drama that you create goes unheard of and your channel dies. You're only relevant because of the stupid drama / horrible takes you create. Cringe is your middle name. An actual narcissistic crybaby. I'm sure your family is proud. My family's pretty proud of me. I'm going to be honest. They are. I take care of them and I see them quite a bit. I literally bought this house so that I could like live with them for extended periods of time throughout the year. At first, they didn't fully understand what the fuck I was doing, but I think nowadays they get it. It's not even working, hence them trying to boot this failing drama like 5 times. Yeah, dude, the more you do this, the more increasingly unimaginably fucking obsessed you sound for normal people. Here, let's watch this video. This video actually, ironically, is about what that guy was doing in the chat.
If you ask me, I'd say being a Marine. Okay, no, actually, one addendum. Being a pregnant Marine. Okay, one more addendum. Being a YouTuber when you have to re-upload it. Being a pregnant YouTuber when you have to re-upload a video. How's it going? What's up? If you guys didn't know, that was a mogul mail that I uploaded yesterday. You might not have seen it, though, because I took the video down. The video was called, Do Streamers Have Hard Jobs? And the reason I took it down is because we had a great sponsor on it. But the great sponsor wasn't getting great views. In fact, the video got 50,000 views in the first hour. And for reference, a normal video on this channel gets 130,000 views. I was live at the time, so I couldn't tinker with the title and thumbnail to fix that. So I ended up taking it down with the plan of just removing the sponsor, re-uploading it tomorrow. And I figured, you know, maybe a Minecrafter will do something dumb, and I can just talk about that and throw a sponsor in, and everybody will be happy. But that's not what I did. Instead, I'm making this video, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But first, if you didn't get to watch a video, it was mostly about the Twitch shutdown in South Korea, which officially started yesterday. And this is a big fucking deal that I don't see enough people talking about. The reason it happened is kind of complicated, but in a nutshell, South Korea has a bit of a monopoly on ISPs. There's only 4, and you have to be government approved to start a new ISP. And those internet service providers have been charging certain companies, usually outside companies like Netflix or YouTube, more money because they are driving more traffic, which, you know, is something we don't like here in the United States. So that's why we have net neutrality. And most of those companies have
No, it doesn't sound like the US.
Worked out a deal.
No, we don't. No, literally. That's like an entire fucking thing that happened. An entire thing that happened in the United States of America, where, like, you know, a lot of the big corporations like Google, Facebook, like all of these massive social media companies, they genuinely first lobby the government, but the ISPs and these other companies that are online basically went band for band. Okay, that's how this worked. And obviously the ISPs won the band for band competition. So then the other guys that are actually favorable in the eyes of the consumers, because ISPs are very unfavorable, were like, why are we going band for band? Let's just fuck up the bag right now. Let's just fuck these guys' days up. And then they went and they yelled at the public. They were like, hey guys, they're going to do this thing called, you know, 2-tier structures, and it's going to fucking be more expensive for us. It's going to fuck up the bag for everybody. It's going to fuck up the content for everybody. It's going to suck. So a lot of people got mad. And that's part of the reason why, although we do have a oligopoly across the board in every sector, we don't have this egregious style that the South Korean government has developed for the South Korean government has developed for their own no net neutrality protected internet. Now, of course, having said that, the irony is that while they claimed the reason why they had to fight against this, like Netflix, for example, the reason why he had to fight against this, congratulations, Kaya's Chatter, for getting accepted into your master's program, by the way. But yeah, people forget like Ajit Pai. People forget like what was it called? The fucking dance thing. The Harlem Shake. Harlem Shake, Ajit Pai. God damn, I'm such a fucking millennial. Holy shit, I'm all over the place. We're gonna get back to this video right now. We're done with the net neutrality conversation. for now. So that was what Ludwig wanted to talk about, and he framed it because he was like, it won't be as interesting if he just talks about Korea. So he wanted to fucking clickbait with the meta commentary on streaming, whether it's a tough job or not.
South Korea to keep working there. But Twitch, which has a similar issue, obviously they have a lot of bandwidth because of live streaming, couldn't work out a deal. And so they left the market, and Dan Clancy himself said that, yeah, we tried to reduce our source quality to 720p, maybe reducing server costs, but it is still 10 times more expensive to operate in South Korea, and there's basically no way to do it profitably, so we're leaving. And bear in mind, this is after Twitch put in so much fucking money and time into beating Africa TV, the former largest live streaming site in the country, and they became the largest live streaming site, and now they're leaving, which is really tough for a lot of streamers who built their careers and communities on that website, and now they have to go to a new site. Now, someone who did that, that is fucking scary. So I wanted to talk about that. But I also understand people don't, at the surface level, give a shit. What they really like is little dramas, little clicks, and, you know, little Twitter likes. And so what I ended up using as a clickbait to talk about that video was a topic that has been trending on Twitter for like 4 days now, which of course is about streaming perhaps being a hard job, harder than a real job, some people are saying. Where did this conversation start from? It seems like a silly thing to talk about. Well, it started from this clip on Hasan's channel. We'll watch it together here.
People will be like, oh, dude, Hasan is like telling Ludwig to fucking take down this video or whatever the fuck. Which is ironic because, like, he's still, like, I wouldn't frame this in this way at all, for the record, okay? It can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
And that soundbite has gone a bit viral. It's going to a lot of places. Now, let's give the full context of what he's saying there, because at the surface level, that sentence, a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you, is wrong. It's just flat out wrong. And I think Hasan on stream would probably say that, yeah, that was not the best wording. I should not have said that. What he was trying to talk about was this.
There are obviously real jobs out there that are good comparisons. Service sector, people-pleasing jobs would be very similar. Those are
good comparisons for a job that might drain your social battery. For context,
like, I think customer service type shit. But like, if you're an accountant, or if you're even like in sales, my interactions with clients was limited, way more limited than like constantly having to do this for 9 hours with like a back and forth interaction for 9 hours. That's what like sucks your social battery, and you just tap out after it.
And the term social battery is probably a lot more acceptable to most people than the term soul. People don't like the term soul because a soul-sucking job to most people would...
Why accountants keep catching strays? Well, what I was trying to say is, like, all real work is fucking awful. That much is established. This is a literally fucking... This is the most pro-labor community on the internet, okay? That I'm having a conversation with an in-group of people who are already like Amazon distribution facility workers, Amazon delivery drivers, motherfuckers who are accountants and white-collar jobs as well. But like, as far as bullshit jobs in the white-collar space versus like actual labor, or not actual labor, because that's also labor, labor in the sense that it's like more physical route tasks and whatnot, there are soul-sucking aspects of all of it, but they're shitty in different ways. That's what this conversation was about. The conversation was about streaming being a constant performance. Not that it was actually much harder than a real world job. Of course it's not. That's ridiculous. I would be doing a real world job if it was much, much harder. Like, nobody's like, hey man, go fucking sit in front of a computer and stream every day. You know what I mean? Pro-labor? I thought you were pro-choice. Yeah. I was here, totally saw it being clip chimp too. We're still on this shit. We're still on this shit because like people have literally been desperately looking for something new to get mad at. People are really bored. There's not enough drama going on in the world. So what do? We pull the fucking fuck Hasan ripcord. That's it. Couldn't you make an argument to prove your point is based off the response of this clip? Normal job holders don't get scrutinized to this degree for everything they say. Yes, however, what doesn't matter is that ultimately I am very privileged. I live an incredible lifestyle. This is the life that people dream about. The most significant part of why this lifestyle is incredible is not even the fucking paycheck. The paycheck is fucking awesome, sure, right? But the most significant part that is the best from my own personal experience, the way that I receive this experience, I would say, is the reality that I have autonomy. The autonomy. This, I'm sure Little Bear will find it eventually. I have talked about the freedom of wanting to be able to not stream on any given day as a major fucking reason for why I feel significantly more free in general. Like the idea that I can make my own hours, that is phenomenal. Okay? Even if I fucking don't, because as you guys all know, I stream 7 days a fucking week, oftentimes 9 hours a day. You know this. Okay? I stream 7 days a week, oftentimes 9 hours a day. I streamed 42% of the entire year in 2020 and around that same percentage every single year since then. This is before we even factor in sleep. I'm talking the available hours in the day, 24 hours a day. And the thing is, there are very few streamers that stream that much. It's fine. It doesn't matter. I love what I do. I'm phenomenally privileged. I'm aware of all of this. The greatest freedom is that I know I can stop if I wanted to. Right? I know I can stop. Part of the reason why I don't is because I have people that rely on me for consistently streaming, obviously. The other more important reason, however, is that no, everyone says I'm addicted, but I do feel like what I do to a certain degree matters. For a lot of people, especially under the age of 35, I would say, I am a outlet that they go to get their news and to get their commentary. This is a place for people on their own journey throughout socialism or developing a better understanding of their own sexuality. Like, this is a safe space for a lot of people. That's a very important facet of what I do. But more importantly than that, this is a place for people to come in and quickly make leftist news and commentary accessible for themselves. I try to make it as palatable as possible. I talk about a variety of different issues. I even talk about fucking drama. That's why I do what I do. You say that all the time, it ain't a safe space. No, obviously, this is not a full safe space. It's never going to be a full safe space. It's a place for learning, and you can't have a full safe space if the goal here is to learn, but it is safe enough. Okay? Commentary streamer, can you be more of a hack? Going forward, when people come in here and say, I'm a hack, or I'm not like pro-labor enough, I would like for them to donate to any union, Starbucks workers union, right? Go donate there, show me the pay stubs, and we'll have a conversation. I'll have you on the stream if you would even want. Like, I think that's a more productive way to go about this. Put your money where your mouth is. Show me that you actually do care about workers, okay? Because, you know, if you ask the many workers that are in this stream right now, they do feel that way. Nobody ever explains why I'm anti-worker. They just say it and move on, or say that I'm a hack, or say that I'm a hypocrite. People don't feel that way are the actual labor leaders, organizers, journalists, and the many people that I try to do my very best to uplift with the platform that I have. Anyway, but the reason why Now that we talked about how privileged I am and how fortunate I am, because I am, the autonomy that I have now is the most significant part of this. Okay? The autonomy that I have now is the most significant part of my privilege. But there are downsides to streaming, the social battery, the constant performance. But more importantly than that, there's also the actual soul-sucking aspect of being constantly annoyed by the smarmiest dipshits who are basically just cyber stalking. Ludwig got a taste of that in this video. He will talk about it in a second.
Would be like a job that doesn't have upwards mobility, which, again, I think Hasan would agree with, and I personally agree with, because I worked at Apple support for 2.5 fucking years, like literally helping boomers reset their Apple password. And in the final 6 months, and I think part of it's because my girlfriend at the time cheated on me, so I was going through it, I would throw my headset at the wall because I couldn't handle a sweet 70-year-old lady trying to figure out how to reset her password. I just couldn't handle that social interaction, which is bad of me. And the closest I've ever come to that is babysitting my chat. But people don't really give a shit about the context. People don't really give a shit about the conversation. They just care about getting Twitter likes, which is all this really is, which is why people like fucking Keemstar are tweeting out shit like this just, you know, just for a dunk sesh. Because nobody gives a fucking shit. Nobody gives a rat's ass about the facts or about any people involved. They just care about a little Twitter like, little impression, right? That's why they tweet. What is this? Look at this shit they tweet, bro. Why do they all look like Twitch streamers?
That's such a crazy take because, like, do Twitch streamers look this hot? Like, according to Keemstar, what's happening? That's why that didn't bang as hard. He was just trying to farm, and he farmed in the worst direction possible. He was like, hey, look at 3 phenomenally beloved, incredibly handsome actors that are famous for being attractive. Look at their fucking jawlines and tell me they look like the basement dwellers of Twitch, myself included.
They don't. What are we doing here? But again, that's not the point. And just for some more clarity, I'm pretty sure Hasan also understands that workers have it rough and generally tries to voice for workers to have it better, and is actually one of the people that inspired me to make Off-Brand, my company that I own. Hello, I'm the owner of Off-Brand, and I have 30 employees, and turn it into a workers' co-op, a place that generally treats workers better.
And so one of my biggest goals this past year that we just announced last week is that we're making Off-Brand workers co-op. And so the people who work here will just own the company, and they will have votes.
Is he trying to make something up you, or why is he making this? I mean, I think he just was annoyed that he was going to re-upload the video and got annoyed that people were calling him a pussy and saying that, like, I made him take the video down or some shit. My criticism of his video was, 1, obviously farming me in a negative light, and 2, the fact that he knows who I am. Like, he knows who I am. He knows what my beliefs are. He knows that that is like a fucking gotcha moment. You know what I mean? That's not reflective of my experience at all. It's actually kind of funny because Ludwig and I and Valkyrie did a roundtable a couple weeks prior for Anthony Padilla's new roundtable show. And the subject of Twitch streamers being out of touch came up. So we spent like literally together around an hour on just that, on how out of touch we are because of how privileged we are and all of this stuff. So like, he knows what my take is on this. We talk about this all the fucking time. So for him to like kind of lean into that and not be like, you know, for him to like not even be like, I know Hasan, he's my friend. We've had this conversation many times over. Of course, he doesn't believe that streaming is the most difficult job ever. Is, in my opinion, yet another circumstance where MAGA male is doing right-wing commentary. That's right, I'll say it, dude. Fucking classic MAGA male. Do you understand? Anyway, all jokes aside, there were people, I mean, there are people who were literally, that thought that I had like tweeted, streaming is the hardest job on the planet, like unironically. Still think the video puts you in a very good light now? Yeah. The difference between you and Ludwig is that Ludwig's a practicing socialist, evidenced by his co-op, while you're just a socialist in theory, evidenced by my lack of co-op. I do have a co-op, but don't worry about that. We're just going to avoid talking about that for the duration. Ludwig, I bet, doesn't even serve 3-minute ad breaks at the top of the hour, which is, of course, the most anti-socialist, pro-capitalist thing you can do. Maga Mail's just mad. Commie Wig made an off-brand co-op and he's taking it out on you. Yeah. You've had to re-explain yourself like 5 times now by repeating what you said the first time. People are so broken. People will literally clip what you just said out of context and frame you and Lud against each other. Yeah, this is the part that is like really fucking annoying. Is that people that have no relationship with either party feel like they know what's going on better than the people who are talking like directly to the camera. Here's a 3-minute ad break now, by the way.
It's equal to even the board of directors on the big decisions, who runs a company, what we do, what we use the surplus for. And that's part of the co-op is like, hey, here's how much we made. Here's how much stuff costs. Here's our...
So anyway, that was, yeah, in part inspired by Hasan. I talked to him about doing that because I want to make sure the people who work at my company have a good-ass fucking time. And we're a fucking killer-ass company who kicks ass, takes names, and makes a hell of a lot of money. All right? I don't think that 15-second clip is indicative of all of his thoughts and opinions. But again, the phrasing was bad. Shouldn't have said sucks the soul. So my plan was re-upload. Because for the most part, my video, again, was about the Twitch shutdown in Korea. I used a little bit of clickbait just to get you in there. I take out the ad. We're all hunky-dory. But then I fucking go awake today. I wake up today.
Can you just get a therapist and stop venting online, yapping yourself in the cancellations because you're not careful about how you say things? You never accept that context doesn't matter. When you say shit so dumb, your whole chat points it out, and that responsibility is on you. Thanks, man. Thank you, 15-month subscriber. You're right. I should shut the fuck up and dribble, dog. You're right. I should... Brother, once again, I'm going to repeat this for loud and clear, okay? I'm a phenomenally lucky person. I think you guys understand that. Many of you know I know that, right? There is virtually nothing I can do to stop people who come in here and clip shit out of context and pump it. They've been doing it for 5 fucking years. As a matter of fact, this video is going to get to that in a second.
Should say. And I see a bunch of people giving me shit. I see all over like random ass videos about Aiden Ross getting scammed, people being like, no spine. Imagine taking down your video because your friend committed social suicide. Why would he private the last video? Whatever. Bunch of people also DMing me. Bro, I got DMs on LinkedIn. I got a death threat there. I was like, bro, I didn't even know I had one still. And I don't frankly give a shit.
Why don't your friends defend you publicly more? This is why. Because let's call it what it is, okay? When I was a smaller content creator, it didn't really matter as much, obviously, because many people did not know who the fuck I was. But there's a lot of people who now know me online as a bad person. Why? Because I've been getting farmed by a community of cyber stalkers that go to lengths that you cannot even fucking imagine for the past 5 years. Now, this community is a consortium. It's not just Destiny's community, obviously. He's more of like a lightning rod for all of the freaks online that do this kind of thing. But I've been a left-wing progressive political commentator in a space that is not exactly happy about that sort of thing for quite some time. I've had Nazis sending me death threats far before I even ever got on Twitch, something I talked about before. But they've all gotten together, and there's an entire industrial complex at this point, and they do congregate around one specific person, right? They have their little paste bins, they have their little clips devoid of context, but if you do that for 5 years in a row, yeah, a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, this guy fucking sucks. But it doesn't just end with things that are clipped out of context about me. It also goes to other content creators who are friends of mine. Part of the reason why I collaborated a lot less over the course of the past couple of years, and I'm doing that more now, but I stopped collaborating, was because they make it so that if you collaborate with me, they're going to make their lives hell as well. And I'm sure you've seen it on Twitter, where there's always like a new sock account on Twitter that's posting some fucking random clip out of context for people that they suspect are even friends of mine. They don't even have to be friends of mine. In every reply, there are websites created called Hamas Piker, dedicated to how much of a Hamas stan I am, calling me a terrorist, trying to get the government to take action. Now, these are the things that I don't normally talk about, because validating the cyber stalking in this way is something that is probably the worst thing you can do, because there's not really anything you can do to deal with it. There's no legislation around it. And Twitter certainly doesn't give a shit. They're not going to, they love it. Twitter is basically one big fuckfest of right-wing reactionary psychopathy now. But the reality is, this is the other side of the job. It's insane that you've lost public friendships because of weirdo freaks. Like Ethan was super upset, fake Discord messages, hated me to blow that up. Yeah, it's like, ultimately, this is a bad way of handling it, and this is how I will handle it. Shut up. Don't do this. Don't do this parasocial, like, you know better on what to do here. Yeah. Denims and Caroline Kwan just talked about their experience and ended up agreeing with Hasan, and they've been since harassed and called terrorist defenders. Yes, they do it for every single person. They go after all of my friends. They go after anyone and everyone that has ever defended me. It is really fucked up, including, but not limited to, Ludwig.
But I did get a little pissed off about it, because I felt like no one actually gave a shit about what I was saying. I was just being used in a proxy war for people who don't like Hasan. Why the fuck am I being used for that? Good. It's crazy. It's crazy people. And this is the one that set me over the edge. Now, this is a DM from a guy that just said no balls because I removed the video. Again, what the fucking plan to re-upload the video? But he messaged me and he says no balls. Now, you know, by itself, you don't think much of it. But then I clicked on his Twitter account, and I see that he said this: wish assassinations were a real thing. And this isn't a quote retweet to people in this situation. Not trying to say who. I'm not trying to get demonetized here.
Like, brother, if you are fantasizing about fucking murdering me over a clip that is, like, obviously out of context, I'm sorry. You gotta get help. You gotta fucking go offline immediately. It's just so miserable.
But what a fucking crazy thing for Mr. Penis Head to say. And then I scrolled up in our DMs, and I found out that this dude was my viewer 5 years ago. Hey, man, love your streams. They help me out a lot when I'm bored or sad. When I have disposable income one day, I'll give you a few shekels a month. And has since moved on, I think, clearly to, like, watching Destiny, and on Destiny's behalf wants to, like, make Hasan's life a lot worse, and then is trying to, like, guilt me in a proxy war to achieve that goal. And all I can fucking say, dude, what the fuck are we doing, man?
Like, this is what I experience daily. This is what some of you know. This is what some of you experience daily just for being fucking outward fans of mine online. You get, everybody has gotten whispers, even in a fucking Twitch chat, from a dude who's been banned in here to be like, hey, would you like to learn about Adolf Hitler? Or, hey, why do you watch this fucking commie dirtbag piece of shit? Or, hey, actually, this guy's a terrorist. I hope you know that. And you guys are all terrorists yourselves. These are all real whispers that banned accounts have whispered to people in this community because they see a username on here and then they fucking pump them. It is exactly the same way that 4chan poll used to operate back in the day. It's exactly the same way that the hate forums used to operate back in the day. It's the exact same way that the alt-right and their fandoms used to work during Gamergate. Now, of course, it's partially because I don't have any advertisers, so they can't go after my fucking advertisers. They try to get me banned on Twitch. That's not working. So what do? They move on to the next thing. Cut him off from his fans and cut him off from his friends. That is literally what is happening for the past 5 fucking years. Of course people are going to see me in a fucking bad light for this reason. That is the only aspect, I would say, that makes this shit untenable. If I wasn't such a spiteful fucking piece of shit, I probably would have, fucked off. Maybe moved to a less accessible form of content creation like YouTube videos or something. But I like having this community. You know why I like having this community? Because when I go to Alveus Animal Sanctuary in Texas, and Maya approaches me and says, hey, we sometimes ask people like if they want to put like a little bot when we're streaming here to fundraise for the sanctuary. And randomly, I go, of course, I would love to do that. Randomly, this community will just out of nowhere fundraise around almost $30,000 for the Alveus Sanctuary over the course of 2 hours. To me, that's it. That means that we are a phenomenal community of people that will immediately be able to fucking fundraise for causes that we care about, even if it's impromptu, out of nowhere. And that's not the only part. Aside from making news accessible, aside from talking about, doing political commentary and also shooting the shit every now and then and being able to change people's perspectives on the way they see the world, I think that's very important for me. That's why I started doing what I do. And I've been saying this since day one. Aside from that, there are a lot of people who then go out in the fucking real world and do stuff. There are people who have started labor unions, like the Chipotle labor union in Lansing, Michigan. There are so many of you that are a part of the Starbucks workers union, which we will be talking about today. People join DSA, people open up YDSA chapters in their actual colleges. People become community organizers. People become labor organizers. People become elected representatives, members of this community, and recognize that they can make material change in their immediate world, engage in activism. That's why I don't stop doing what I fucking do. Okay? No matter how much people try to make it as untenable as possible by doing this crazy shit. That's it. That's it. That's why I always laugh when people are like, you're such a grifter. You're such a grifter. You're a leftist grifter. And it's like, dog, if I wanted to grift, why would I do it on the fucking left? It's the most annoying group of people on the fucking planet. We hate each other. We're constantly yelling at each other over microaggressions or like minor disagreements or because sometimes people don't understand sarcasm. Okay? It's not a popular concept at all. I want to make it popular, and I am a relatively popular content creator, but that doesn't mean that this is because like of what I advocate for, because what I advocate for is like super popular somehow. It's not. I want to make it that way. Anyway. So that's it. That's why it's so funny where people are like, dude, he's a grifter. And it's like 10 years ago when I had no money whatsoever, was broke as fuck, and I started working at the Young Turks doing a sales job, right? And started doing content for free because I really wanted to make videos, My commentary on issues was as consistent and as prescient as they are now. That's why I can always go back in time to like a video from 2016, 2014, 2015, 2017, and you will see me repeat the same exact talking points The same exact talking points. You know? If I wanted to make money, I would have been a liberal on MSNBC or a right-winger online. That's where the money is. Steven Crowder got a $50 million deal that he called a slave labor contract. A slave labor contract. $50 million he said no to and had the audacity to claim was slave labor. Are you fucking kidding me? There is no comparison on the left because left-wing media has to be grassroots funded. There are no billionaire oil barons who are going to be like, yeah, let's get this fucking, let's get this anti-billionaire guy the bag, please, so we can advocate and try to stop people like us from existing as billionaires. That's it. It's something that I value quite a bit, and I hope that you guys will continue supporting other outlets as well. Majority Report is great. Democracy Now! Is great. I am a contributor and funder of Democracy Now! As well. That's the only, there are very few, and there are plenty of wonderful leftist content creators out there as well. They have their own Patreons. Anyway. I recently watched your PewDiePie video from like 5 years ago, and all I could think of was how I would have completely disagreed with you back then. Thank you for helping us be better. Yep. Mike from PA, Central_Committee, GDF. Becomes a millionaire under capitalism, tells you to embrace socialism. So what political organizations are supporting and financing you? Do you like the fame and fortune? What political organizations are supporting it? I'm the one supporting political organizations and financing them, not vice versa. I'm the one. That's so weird that people say this. I'd also like to point out how insanely lucky D-Man is that this community isn't hostile constantly online losers like his is, because this community is way larger. If this community was different, it would end him so quickly. I mean, I also don't want that kind of toxicity. I want you guys to live your best lives. You know what I mean? I don't want you to like be toxic, fucking permanently online, brain broken losers, because that kind of attitude festers and it makes things inaccessible. It makes the content inaccessible. It makes your lives worse overall. That's it. That's why I yell and routinely say things like, be normal and don't tap the glass whenever we're looking at stuff. That is something that I hope others who come in here with maybe even different opinions can maintain. I will always be charitable to you as long as you are also trying to learn and are being charitable and want to change your opinion. I am understanding of people who have toxic ideas. I'm understanding of people who have in the past had held racist opinions, transphobic opinions. I am open about my own personal journey of having transphobic takes and transphobic opinions. You know? Something that people try to use against me all the time. So much so that plenty of people will routinely try to say that I'm transphobic or a grifter because of a clip from like a satirical clip from 2013. And it's like, brother, that's wild. But the point I was trying to make is that this is not healthy for the person engaging in it. It's obviously not healthy for the person on the receiving end of it. How do we miss that Ludwig is making an off-brand or worker cooperative? So I did not want to leak this for the longest time. It was also, like I said, one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to fucking Yanis Varoufakis. My mistake for wanting to reach out to a Greek man, okay, as a Turk. But yeah, this is, it's really cool. What blows my mind is how prolific the clipping is, where you can hear a hater's talking points and know exactly what out of context clip they saw first. Yeah. I believe people have the ability to change. You understand? That is a fundamental belief that I have. I believe in rehabilitation. That's why I hold on to so many, even content creators that do like a whole bunch of toxic shit and usually don't give up until the very last possible moment, which many people will say is actually just because I'm clout chasing. But that's not the reason. The reason is because I do think that like trying to positively influence them is the way to go. One of the funniest things people always used to say is like with the leftovers breakup was that I was egging on harassment towards Ethan. And every single day I went live in the beginning, every single day I would spend at least 5 minutes to 30 minutes talking about how Ethan is not your enemy. You should not yell at Ethan. Ethan is a good person. Be more charitable to those who are open and susceptible to your opinions. Every single day. I'm still friends with Ethan, by the way. I still talk to Ethan every day. Every single day. Throughout the stream. And yet, for many people online, because of the way that you can just craft drama, people legitimately think I was like saying like, fuck Ethan, and that I was egging on harassment. Because the truth does not matter. Do you understand? The truth does not matter. Even amongst people that know each other in the real world. Even if there are two people that are, they have relatively sizable communities, it still doesn't matter. Because people can just craft a false narrative and go along with it. And because people are so motivated, one clip chimp that disregards every previous context, their body of work in order to build a narrative is going to go way longer than the actual reality. That's it. It's a very interesting phenomena that we experience online.
Them and we could have a conversation. But when I see people online, they don't feel human, man. It fucking blows my mind that a dude who used to watch me when I had 200 viewers, I went back to the stream, 200 viewers, right? Who used to fucking chill ass dude can now be a guy who's wishing for assassinations. Cause why? The guy you don't like online is millionaire? Said something you don't like? It's the most un-American thing I ever heard in my fucking life. What's more beautiful about being an American than seeing someone you don't fucking like, but they're allowed to say whatever the fuck you don't like? It blows my mind. Now, I do think there's a larger trend going on here where people are just kind of turning on streamers. You know, from the pandemic, where streamers grew a lot when a lot of people were struggling, it was perverse. Didn't make sense. Most people were struggling and streamers were thriving. I was thriving.
By the way, this is a verbatim Hasanabi take right here that he's fucking repeating, okay?
And now we're in fucking crazy positions where I talk and I just say my thoughts into a camera for 10 to 12 fucking minutes, and then I stop the recording and I upload it, and that's my fucking job, which is really cushy and really nice. And I think I and every other fucking streamer, all right, Asmin, Hasan, whoever, understands the privilege to be in that spot. But I can see why other people look at that and they'd be like, well, this fucker's dumber than me. He's a piece of shit, and he has a way better life. I can't buy a fucking house. I feel like I have no upwards mobility. Inflation's crazy. I can barely afford gas. And they'd be mad, which I get. And I think every streamer, specifically at the top, and that's all I'm talking about, the top 1% of 1% streamers, they get it. They get it. And if you hate me because of that, no worries. But let's just be fucking human about it, right? You don't fucking wish for assassinations. Just be like, hey, man, I think you're a piece of shit because you have a fucking cushy-ass job and I don't feel like you deserved it. I get you. I'm sorry, bro. I'm trying to make the best of it, do right by those around me, fucking run a kick-ass company, do right by my employees, get out, bake bread. That's me. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about. I was going to re-upload, but it pissed me off. I got mad. Mr. Penis Head, why you got to be weird?
If people are critical of your opinions and not your personal life and didn't use death threats, ultimately you'd be okay with it, right? Of course, dude. I see your haters say you're anti any criticism and don't get that there are sane ways and insane ways of being critical. Yes. The way that the online, the way that the internet works, especially on the streamer side of things, because it's the most parasocial in either direction, by the way, both stans and haters alike, is that it's never like actual criticism of a thing I actually believe or have actually said. It's always something that is the exact opposite of what I believe. You know what I mean? People convince themselves that they're actually doing accountability by being like, his father is a multi-billionaire oligarch. That's just not true. Not a single part of that is true, and you're not doing accountability by saying that. Attacks on streamers is the same misdirection conservatives throw at celebrities. They convince poor Americans that people are minorly wealthy and famous are the ones that are exploiting them. They're dodging accountability by deflecting outreach to celebrities. No, I think the other side of it, of course, is that like there are plenty of fucking people that are mad. They're mad all the time because of their own fucking financial circumstances. That's the most valid thing. That's the whole that's what I mean. You know? And there's still people who are like, hey, yo, bro, I can hook you up with a regular job if you're feeling too drained. Nah. Like, nothing I said will ever get through this dude's skull. You know what I mean? Nothing. I get why you're mad. I get why you're angry. You are valid to be mad. Okay? My whole job is to try to get you to understand what you should actually be mad at. And maybe one day it